What's up, everybody? So, I know it's been like 2.5, 3 months um, since you have seen a video, and so I might have lost quite a few of you, and that's totally understandable. I mean, I gotta stay relevant. Um, but yeah, so kind of back into the mood and the mode to film and edit and things like that. I haven't really done anything. I've had some personal stuff going through, so just been spending time and money with that and all of that fun stuff. So, kind of what the topic of today is and why you might have clicked on it is the G37. So, my Drift Week G has been a trooper. Did Drift Week 7. It did multiple events for urban racing, probably 5 or 6. It did many skid pads, ride alongs. I had a blast, learned a lot. It started to throw the slave out again, which was what happened in Drift Week 7. That's what we had to change at Rival Garage. Rival Auto. So shout out to them in Orange, California. So I had to replace the slave, and so this time I made the decision to go ahead and do the Z1 Speed CSC delete kit. Basically, it puts the slave on outside of the transmission, so I don't have to take off the bell housing, and it converts it to a much more common Nissan throwout. So it'll be easier to replace in either situation. And hopefully, if the slave ever goes out again, I can just do it from the side bracket and not have to worry about dropping the transmission. So, going on to that is I was always scared to drop the transmission. I was scared to do this particular project. I watched multiple people do it on the internet in 3 hours, have a buddy that did his in 3 hours. I watched Rival Garage do it in 3 hours. But I just didn't want to tackle it. And so I took it to a shop. I took it to a local shop around me, and while I was in there, I decided that we would go ahead and do transmission flush and change the clutch out. So that's what we did. And so it took about 2 weeks, and I went and picked it up last night. And unfortunately, it wasn't kind of as I expected. I picked up my car with all the pieces still in the front seat, in the floorboard, the 10 millimeter with the swivel to take off the center console and the shift knob and all that is still in the floorboard. And so anyway, as you can see, there's just a few things wrong. Like when I originally got out there at 10 o'clock at night, I couldn't get it into reverse. And there's like this little bracket that goes on top of the housing, that right where the shift knob goes, that was just scooted over just a hair. So then once I got that situated, I realized that at first I've realized some things. So at first reverse would not go into gear. So it did used to grind fifth and sixth just ever so slightly, and this is an intense grind. Whereas you can't even really put it into reverse without slamming it in there. So yeah, and so that kind of led me to start to realize that I need to be working on the cars myself. So as somebody that has no mechanical experience, just whatever you've seen on here, which is great, I feel like, and I know, actually, I probably would have made half of the mistakes. Other stuff I would have just kind of researched just because I don't have a clue. I don't have the experience to be like, oh yeah, this is how it goes. And so I kind of trusted them a little too much, and it's just frustrating. So I've decided to basically pull back both of my cars. I'm going to get both of them back and just work on them all of myself at my own pace whenever I can. And what I mess up, I'll have to fix. It's better than being mad at someone, ruining a relationship with another shop that is involved with almost every drift event that you go to, especially the bigger ones. And it's just not in my nature to, put them on blast or, talk crap. And I mean, not that it would even matter, right? And so Anyway, that's blah 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 blah. Any of that nonsense. If you're still here, or probably just skipped past it. What we are here for is we are going to adjust the clutch pedal, the way that it pulls the forks the inside the bell housing. And so I did get a new clutch, and I think this is what's going on, because with the heavy grinding in reverse, and once I finally get it into reverse, or if I slam it into first, the car actually still moves with the clutch all the way in. So this kind of tells me, and I'm still on the stock 6 kilogram spring inside the clutch pedal. So this kind of tells me that I replaced the clutch, so I most likely need to adjust the clutch pedal, and I'm hoping that it'll solve this issue and kind of let me get it into gear and not have such a horrible grinding sound and slamming it into reverse, because that can't be good, and I can't imagine what's going to be like at 75, 8,000 RPM when I'm shifting either from second into third at full revs, or I'm full e-braking out of third, downshifting into second and pinning it. I was able to trust this car. My biggest pet peeve is like that. I had no doubt. I had a little bit of doubt because it's a daunting task, but I had no doubt to take this car on Drift Week 7, which is I ended up doing 4,700 miles and drifting all over the West Coast. And so now I've taken it somewhere which I thought would, get it done quickly. I've missed 2 drift events because of this, but I was hoping it would get it done quickly and correctly, and I wouldn't have to worry about that. And now it's kind of all gone completely backwards, and I'm out the money. So, anyway, we are adjusting the clutch pedal. While I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and show you a common issue in the G37s, G35s, maybe the 350s, even like Pontiac G6s, things like that, where your brake lights stay on. And people chase fuses, people chase loose wires, things like that, when in all actuality, it's these silly little rubber pegs in the bottom of your pedal. I'll show you my makeshift. Actually, yeah, I had a GoPro screw in there, but the shop I took it to put in this makeshift little plug, and essentially all it does is press up against a button. So your pedal is not really, the pedal is what tells the lights what's to do. So there's usually a black rubber and then a white plastic peg, or that's the button. And so typically the rubber is in your floorboard somewhere or underneath your floor mat. It's kind of the same issue if your clutch ever goes out, your clutch pedal doesn't work, and you're trying to start your car. It's all run by those little plugs. So we're going to try and get you a video of that and also do it. All right, so this is basically going to be our G37 repair video. Major repairs on the G37. So at one of the urban racing events, I had a massive blowout, which is cool, right? Everybody screamed, everybody was happy. It kind of brought up a good safety point. So it's a good time to do this at the same time. So I had a passenger in here filming herself just like this. Wee, wee, wee. When my tire blew, it didn't quite delaminate, and the treads came around, whipped off my door handle, and hit her elbow. So it actually caused it to bleed pretty bad. Everything was cool. She was all right. Everything was good. It just brought up, she didn't technically have her hand hanging out it was just kind of out there to film inside, but it still got her. And so, it came around, multiple times, knocked that off. So I just got one. Just straight up eBayed this. It was like $50 shipped. And so we are going to attempt to replace the broke one with the good one. All right, yeah. All right, so underneath here we are looking at the 3 pedals 08 G37. 6 kilogram spring. There is options out there and other videos that tell you how to replace that spring and actually get more feel. I can kind of tell what he's talking about, but I don't really street drive this car, so the clutch feels good for when I need to slam it into gear or completely dump it on full throttle. So, but I might be interested in trying it. It does have 270,000 miles on that particular spring and the whole everything, so it might be something worth looking at. But we are going to try and get you up in here to look at the adjustment. So, it is right there where my finger is. And so there is a nut. It's not going to be able to focus. This is the DJI, by the way, which is a great action camera. I am just using it because it's on a nice stand. But essentially, there are grooves on this stud right here. And then there is a 12 millimeter bolt. And so what I need to do, because my clutch, it doesn't seem like my clutch is completely disengaging when I depress the pedal. So I am going to bring it out more. So it does, typically it's like 2 or 3 threads, I think, from the factory. And mine is almost backed all the way down. So it tells me that Drift Games guys, maybe James, somebody at some point has adjusted this clutch for another one that came in it or was put in it. So I am just going to simply adjust this. This is actually good news for me. I was kind of worried it was something internal, but I think this might be it. I'm pretty confident, and we're going to learn together. So once again, 12 millimeter nut on that shaft with the rib, so you would loosen it up and then use some pliers on those grooves specifically made for the teeth. And if you expose more threads in through this bracket right here, that is going to move the pedal out more. All right, and so while we're down here, right here, so it's hard to see, but inside this hole of the black, this is a temporary fix right here. It just is a little looks like a body clip or just some kind of clip for trim or something underneath the hood, and you just put it inside there and it's able to push the white button. So inside this black hole is what is typically in your floorboard and what's missing, and why your lights stay on in your G37, G35, and G6 Pontiacs, and probably a bunch of other vehicles. If your just brake lights all of a sudden started staying on, look at the pedal assembly and see if it has some type of hole or some type of device, some type of simple contraption to make the lights turn on and off when the pedal goes. So another thing down here on the clutch pedal is this bracket right here. It is going to be hard to see with the angle, but there is a hole right here on the clutch pedal that needs either something a rubber mount from Nissan is preferable, but something in there to hit this button right here. So if you're ever doing a bunch of clutch kicking at an event and then you park it to change tires and then your car won't start next, it's because this is on your floor and you've broken it. So there's 3 different things you can do underneath here for simple and really common problems in the G37, G35. Yeah. So, day 2. I spent most of the night adjusting the clutch pedal, trying to get it right. I have got it kind of good. I've taken it on some test drives. So as you can tell, we're packed up. We're ready to go. I'm about to drive about an hour and a half west and go to a brand new racetrack at out in Crescent. So we're going to be out there with Immersion Motorsports, and I am going to break the clutch in driving it there, and then either break it in or completely break it out on the track. So we'll see how good and however everything went at the shop, put it to the test today, and then fix it myself if I need to. I didn't get a chance to get the door handle on this, so you can take the actual door handle off relatively easy, but the whole contraption, I have to take the door panel. So I'm not ready to attempt that yet. It'll just flap in the wind and let people know that you can't use it. So like I said, hopefully we'll actually get some drifting videos today. And I'm out there in my Jason Drift shirts, which are available at jasondrifts.com. Make sure you put the Z at the end of drifts. I got some glitter pack stickers. I got some really nice stuff on there, koozies, all types of things. So just get on there, check it out. If you feel like it, support your boy. And yeah, let's get to some videos.
On the man, yeah, on the man. Now you low. Lot of bands, lot of bands. Yeah. Clear. Fellas. Yeah. No way. Be right. Yeah. Do. Bust down. Spits. Commas. I got commas.
Alright, so we are here set up at Crescent Motorsports. The first time really drifting's ever been allowed here. So it's kind of cool. They're letting time trials go today, so we got a 30-minute break. I set up a little goofy tent. Just got to do all this shit by myself.
Alright, what's up everybody? So I got some on-car footage, got some helmet cams. There's only one more session right now, but I have a new problem. This track is extremely fast, so it's right on the edge of being, like, I can't push the throttle any further into the floor in second or third. So I'm keeping it that way and running about 60 PSI in the car. So it's getting hot about every couple of laps. I did notice pretty significant coolant leak underneath the car. After kind of further investigation, it looks like there's just either a hole or at a coupling. So the car still cools down, but I'm just not going to take any chances given my luck lately in the past 2 months and the shit life has thrown at me. I'm just going to drive it on home. So I'll pick this up back when we get home. Alright, back in the car. So we roll with tire. This is a freaking sweet track. Hopefully I got some good views. I didn't really care too much. I did like point them and things like that to start all the cameras. But yeah, so we're leaving Crescent. It was quite the experience. It was awesome. I would much rather have had my FC out here, but at least I got to practice in my practice car, test out the new clutch, the new slave, all that fun stuff, and yeah, had another successful trip. Street drove the crap out of the car. Now I'm driving it back home. Got about an hour drive, and a little hard to do with the manual holding this damn thing, but anyway, other than that, we'll see you later. You'll be able to hear me, but I just had to stop on the highway. I just went ahead and ran my tires down to steel and figured it'd be no problem to go home. Well, about 20 miles into it, I developed a bubble and then I exploded a tire on the highway. No big deal. 5 minutes. Luckily, I'm in my drift car, but the new wheels that I've never tried before are 11s and they rub. So I'm shooting smoke out the side and it's pretty annoying. So gonna have to get home and adjust the BCs. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to drift, street driving to the event has its advantages. I had my tire, jacks, jack stands, everything ready to go. So it literally took me 4 minutes on the side of the highway, swapped it out, didn't bother filming, swapped it out, back on the road again. So that's a benefit to it. The downside is I've never tried these, and it is making a nice racket. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and kind of update y'all on that. We've still got about 25 minutes home. I am dying with the windows up so y'all can hear me. But yeah, we'll catch you once I get back. Thanks again, and make sure you're liking, subscribing, going to jasondrifts.com. You can get this sweet t-shirt, glitter bomb stickers, there's koozies, rugs, there's dash mats that say "Got Smoke" in it. Floor mats for your car. I went ahead and lowered all the prices on the shopping. I noticed that it had kind of pulled some rather expensive pricing, but there's some really good stuff on there. There's even some posters, there's some puzzles, things like that. So yeah, give it a try. jasondrifts.com. Any of that just to supporting me and what I got going on in the drifting world and kind of my whole process. So I would greatly appreciate that. If that's not in your financial ways or not what you're interested in, if you could at least like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. Also, that helps in another completely different way. So thanks again, and we'll see you later.